The undercard for Canelo Alvarez versus William Scull has been revealed, and it is getting mixed feedback. Meanwhile, amid the controversy surrounding this fight and its undercard, Canelo is busy at shutting down speculation about his future, and addressing the idea that William Scull is merely a tune-up fight for a potential September showdown with Terence Crawford. Canelo Alvarez dismissed the speculation outright. He stated that no fight is scheduled for September, and that his sole focus is on winning his May 3rd bout against Scull. Canelo made it clear that he is giving 100% of his attention to this fight and will only consider his next move after handling business in the ring.
No, I like to be active. And I don't take, we don't have a fight till September. We have this fight, and then we will see the September fight. But I'm focused 100% on William Scull.
Echoing his unwavering commitment, William Scull delivered a message to boxing fans, emphasizing that everything is possible and expressing his pride in representing Cuba on such a big stage. He assured everyone that he would be fully prepared and give his absolute best on fight night. While he made no bold predictions, he promised an exciting showdown, vowing to make it a great fight for the fans.
Estoy seguro que vamos a dar un buen batagazo y estoy orgulloso de poder representar a todos mis cubanos que siempre están atentos y a disfrutar del 3 de mayo que va a ser una gran noche.
My message to everybody is that everything is possible, and I'm really proud to represent all of Cuba in this fight. I'm going to be ready, and I'm going to give the best I can. That's all I can promise, and it's going to be a great fight. I promise you that too.
Building on the lineup, the opening act will be Brian Leon versus Araron Guerrero, followed by Marco Verde versus Michel Polina, Badou Jack versus Ryan Rozicki, also the fight that most people were anticipating, Martin Bakole versus Efe Ajagba. However, despite the card being set, fans wasted no time voicing their disappointment over the undercard, expressing frustration at what they saw as a lackluster lineup. With Canelo headlining the main event, many had anticipated a more thrilling supporting cast to match the magnitude of the occasion. One boxing fan stated, "Terrible undercard for a Canelo fight." On the other hand, while criticism was widespread, others pointed out that while the undercard may not be as electrifying as hoped, it still offers some solid matchups. The overall sentiment, however, suggests that fans were expecting more, especially with Turki Alalsheikh's involvement, which has recently brought blockbuster fight cards to the sport. Another fan voiced their frustration, writing, "Why are Canelo's undercards always so bad? I don't think he purposely asks for boring fighters so he can be the star of the night, but for a Canelo card being funded by Turkey, we all had our hopes way higher for this card. Mid but still decent, definitely still watching." Acknowledging the mixed reactions and admitting he was unfamiliar with Brian Leon, Aaron Guerrero, Marco Verde, and Michel Polina as they are lesser-known fighters, DAZN host G-Man shifted his focus to the more recognizable names on the undercard were Badou Jack and Ryan Rozicki.
And now we have the undercard revealed. Now, I'm gonna have to forgive my ignorance with the first two fights, because I'm not exactly familiar at all with them. So Brian Leon versus Aaron Guerrero, can honestly say rings no bells, either of them. Don't ring a bell with either of them, to be fair. But then we get into the fighters that do. So then we have Badou Jack. We all know Badou Jack.
Shifting the discussion to Badou Jack's presence on the card, G-Man noted that while the former world champion has never fought under the Riyadh season banner, he has previously competed in Saudi Arabia, most notably on the undercard of Anthony Joshua versus Alexander Usyk. Reflecting on that event, he described the atmosphere as insanity and recalled how Jack seemed to have overwhelming support from the local crowd.
Badou Jack is a bit of a darling on those. Well, I don't know if he's ever fought on I don't think he's fought on a Riyadh season show, but he has fought in Saudi Arabia on a couple of occasions. He fought on Joshua Usyk's undercard, and that right there, was it Richard Rivera he fought? Now that, people, right there was just insanity.
Expanding on Jack's popularity in the region, he suggested that Badou Jack is something of a darling in Saudi Arabia, even more so than Hamza Shiraz, who has been rumored to receive special treatment. According to G-Man, Jack could find himself 2 rounds up before the opening bell has fully rung, emphasizing just how much support he expects the veteran fighter to receive on fight night.
I'm convinced we had a nearly 5-minute round in that fight. It was just, they were so pro Badou Jack, it was insane. People want to talk about Hamza Shiraz getting special treatment. Now, Badou Jack is the darling over there. I'd say he's probably 2 rounds up already and the bell hasn't even gone yet.
Turning attention to another key matchup on the undercard, on his podcast, boxing analyst Nestor Gibbs weighed in on the fan reaction to Martin Bakole versus Efe Ajagba, noting that the matchup initially generated significant excitement. However, following Bakole's recent loss to Joseph Parker, the enthusiasm has cooled, with many fans expressing disappointment.
Then we have Efe Ajagba taking on Martin Bakole. I don't know, this is a great fight once upon a time. Now, many people are a little bit disappointed because Bakole suffered a loss versus Joseph Parker via knockout.
Adding to these concerns, Gibbs highlighted concerns that Bakole may not be in the best condition for this fight, as some believe he has not had enough time to recover from his defeat. The quick turnaround has led to discussions about whether Bakole should be stepping back into the ring so soon, with some questioning if he'll be at his best against the heavy-handed Ajagba.
You know, people essentially believe that he doesn't belong in the ring with Efe Ajagba because he hasn't had the ample time to rest up and come right back into this big fight. So some were saying he wasn't ready for the Crawford fight, right? Some were saying, not Crawford fight. Some were saying he wasn't ready for the Parker fight. It was too short notice. Now he loses to Parker via knockout, and he's back on this card in less than 2 weeks. So we'll see what happens with Bakole.
Despite these doubts surrounding his readiness, Martin Bakole has made it clear that he believes Efe Ajagba is in serious trouble ahead of their showdown. Confident in his abilities, Bakole stated that Ajagba himself knows the challenge he is up against. He emphasized that opportunities like this do not come often, and when they do, every fighter must seize the moment.
I think he's in trouble, so he knows himself. He's trying, everyone will jump on a chance, so this is the best chance if you're in this sport, so everyone will have a dream. So soon they had that he's going, have a one fight to fight for the world title, he will jump on it. So what he did, so good luck to him.
Doubling down on his confidence, Bakole dismissed any concerns about who the favorite is, insisting that his sole focus is on claiming victory and securing the belt. Looking beyond this fight, he has already set his sights on even bigger challenges, mentioning the possibility of facing Alexander Usyk in a unification bout or a high-profile clash against Anthony Joshua in Africa.
I don't care about who's going to win. All I know is I'm going to take that belt, start talking about getting Usyk maybe unification or fight AJ in Africa first.
Backing up this intense preparation, trainer Billy Nelson took to social media and posted on X to declare that Martin Bakole will be at his absolute best when he returns to Saudi Arabia on May 3rd. In a post, Nelson assured fans that they will witness the real Bakole on fight night, emphasizing that a full training camp has prepared him to be a serious threat. Billy Nelson tagged Martin stating, "Back to Saudi May 3rd with Martin Bakole. You will all see the real Bakole that Nightfall Camp spells danger." With Bakole looking to bounce back from his recent loss, his team is confident that proper preparation will make all the difference. Adding to the discussion on Bakole's bout, G-Man revealed that the undercard fight that intrigues him the most is the showdown between Bakole and Ajagba, though he noted there has been no mention of it being an IBF final eliminator. He speculated that the fight likely would not carry that designation, explaining that it was originally intended to be an eliminator before Bakole took on Joseph Parker. Had Bakole not faced Parker, G-Man believes this fight would have been positioned as a direct path to a world title shot. Nonetheless, with both heavyweights looking to make a statement, the matchup remains one of the most compelling on the undercard.
But the fight I'm really intrigued at is Martin Bakole will face Efe Ajagba. No mention as to whether that's an IBF final eliminator. I suspect it won't be. That was meant to happen irrespective of Joe Parker, but had he not fought Joe Parker, it would have been an IBF final eliminator.
Evaluating the stylistic clash between the two, G-Man analyzed the matchup by breaking down both fighters' styles, stating that on any given day, if Martin Bakole is firing on all cylinders and is at his best, he should win this fight and likely win it convincingly. However, he cautioned that Ajagba's power makes him a dangerous opponent who should not be overlooked. While he leans toward Bakole as the favorite, G-Man also questioned how the heavyweight will perform following his short-notice fight against Joseph Parker, where he stepped in with just 2 days preparation.
On any given day, when I look at both fighters and their respective styles, I'm thinking of Martin Bakole firing on all cylinders. Wins this fight, and he probably wins it. You want to be careful because Efe Ajagba has power, but I would make him a pretty firm favourite, to be honest with you. But how is he going to be after that debacle against Joseph Parker? He took the fight on basically 2 days' notice. He only arrived in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on the day of the fight. He was in no kind of shape at all.
Shifting the focus to the main event, as a DAZN host and commentator, G-Man shared his thoughts on William Scull's chances against Canelo Alvarez. He expressed skepticism about Scull's ability to trouble the undisputed super middleweight champion, but acknowledged that boxing is unpredictable and upsets are always a possibility. While most analysts view Canelo as the clear favorite, history has shown that no fighter can be entirely counted out. Scull will look to capitalize on any openings and attempt to deliver what could be one of the biggest shocks in recent history.
William Scull is still a world champion. I'm not giving him much of a chance against Canelo, but that's not to say he couldn't spring an upset. You never know. Upsets do happen.
Adding further insight into Canelo's plans, G-Man observed that Canelo Alvarez and promoter Turki Alal Sheikh appeared to be focusing on a potential September showdown with Terence Crawford. By marketing the upcoming bout against William Scull as an undisputed title fight, they aim to enhance its appeal, even though Canelo's star power ensures strong interest regardless. This strategy not only elevates the significance of the May 3rd bout, but also maintains momentum leading up to the anticipated clash with Crawford.
Canelo Alvarez, Turki Alal Sheikh, everybody's looking ahead to Crawford in September, and having that fight as undisputed, selling it as undisputed, the fight doesn't really need that much selling, but that is a big help. It is.
Feeling sidelined by the ongoing speculation, William Scull had voiced his frustration over being overlooked. The reigning world champion believes it is disrespectful that discussions are already focused on a possible Canelo versus Crawford showdown rather than his fight against the Mexican superstar. Scull emphasized that he has earned his place in the ring and deserves the same level of respect as any other champion. With their bout set for May, he remains determined to make a statement and remind the boxing world that he is not just a stepping stone on the road to a bigger fight.
He salido adelante bajo las dificultades de las personas que me subestiman.
Rejecting the notion of being a mere touch-up fight, William Scull dismissed the idea during the press conference. Acknowledging that such narratives are common in boxing, Scull remained unfazed, emphasizing his determination to make the most of his opportunity.
No, sinceramente, el que conoce bien de boxeo sabe que en el boxeo no es nada fácil, ¿no? Si yo estoy aquí es porque me lo he ganado callando boca, siempre dando pasos firmes y seguros. Y como siempre he dicho, ¿no? El día 3 de mayo y el 12 de round, de que saca el último round, es cuando se va a decidir quién es el verdadero ganador de esa noche.
Determined to defy the odds, Scull vows to deliver a career-defining performance and silence his critics on May 3rd. He made it clear that he is coming in with the mindset of proving doubters wrong, vowing to silence critics with his performance in the ring.
You know, that's just how boxing is sometimes. I'm firm, I'm secure in what I want to do, and come May 3rd, I know that I'm going to display the best of my talents, and I'm going to be the best I can be in order to pull off the upset. I'm going to shut everybody up. You'll see.
At the press conference, Canelo Alvarez expresses gratitude to his fans, vowing to make history once again in his upcoming bout on May 3rd, thanking them for their unwavering love and support. With confidence and determination, he emphasized the significance of the upcoming fight, stating his intention to make history once again.
I just feel grateful about have you here, guys. Always support me, and let's make history. Let's make history. Thank you, everybody. Gracias a todos. De verdad aprecio mucho su apoyo, cabrones. Muchas gracias. Que vamos a hacer historia. Que viva México, culeros.
Building on his determination to cement his legacy, Canelo expressed his excitement and motivation ahead of his upcoming fight, stating that he feels great and always pushes himself to stay motivated, especially when fighting in different countries. He emphasized the importance of this bout, making it clear that he never takes any fight lightly and remains fully committed to training at 100%.
No, I feel great, you know. That motivates myself, sparing, fighting in another country. I feel great. I feel great about it. Motivate, and you know this fight is very important to me. I never take nothing easy. I always train in my 100%.
Further emphasizing his focus and preparation, acknowledging William Scull's skill set, Canelo reassured that there is no other fighter like him and that he is preparing to put on a strong performance in Riyadh. He also took a moment to thank Turki Alalshikh, whom he affectionately referred to as Uncle Turki, for making the event possible, promising fans an exciting showdown while reiterating his high level of motivation for the fight.
He have a lot of skills, but you know, he's no other Canelo out there. So I'm gonna prepare myself and put it a good show in Saudi Arabia and Riyadh. And for my uncle Turki, Alashi, thank you, and it's gonna be excited. I'm very motivated for this fight.
Continuing to reflect on the upcoming challenge, Alvarez acknowledged the challenge of facing William Scull, recognizing the difficulty of the Cuban boxing style. However, he remained confident, stating that he would give his best effort in the ring. He emphasized that boxing is about respecting and understanding your opponent while executing your strategy, and come May 3rd, he intends to do exactly that.
You know, it's gonna be difficult because his style, you know, the Cuban style is a little bit complicated, but like always, I'm gonna try my best, and I'm gonna be in the ring and like boxing is, you know, hurt your opponent as much as you can, and I'm gonna do it that May 3rd.
Matching Canelo's confidence with his own, William Scull expressed confidence ahead of his showdown with Canelo Alvarez, stating that he feels very good and has relied on his fundamentals throughout training. He emphasized that he has prepared in a disciplined and dignified manner, ensuring he is in peak condition for fight night.
No, la verdad que soy un boxeador que viene bien preparado, ¿no? Tengo una buena escuela, que es una gran base que tengo, y no, me siento muy bien para enfrentar este reto, ¿no? Como siempre he dicho, ¿no? El sacrificio es la felicidad de mañana, y me he sacrificado muy duro para lograr lo que tengo, y no, se está tomando esto con una forma muy linda, viviendo un lindo momento y una gran experiencia, y siempre exhortar lo que esperen el 3 de mayo, que van a disfrutar de un gran boxeo.
With May 3rd fast approaching, Scull made it clear that his focus is on being fully ready and delivering a great fight for the boxing fans, believing they deserve nothing less.
I feel really good right now, actually. I rely on my fundamentals, and I have prepared really well in a very dignified way for this fight. And all I want is to be ready for May 3rd and give the fans a great fight, which is what they deserve.
Meanwhile, supporting the overall quality of the event, G-Man stated that he had no issues with the card, acknowledging that it was always going to have a stronger American presence. He pushed back against the criticism, challenging those who disapprove to recall past Canelo undercards, arguing that they are usually lackluster. In comparison, he believes this lineup is one of Canelo's better undercards, making the backlash seem unwarranted.
I've seen one comment on X saying for a Canelo undercard this is weak. Mate, have you ever actually gone and watched many of Canelo's undercards? I challenge you to name me some of the fights that actually take place on the undercards. They're normally abysmal. That, by contrast, is one of his better undercards. It genuinely is. That's true. That's me being completely fair. That's one of his better undercards. They're normally absolutely terrible, because you're really only going for Canelo.
With the May 3rd showdown fast approaching, anticipation continues to build despite mixed reactions to the undercard. While fans debate the lineup, all eyes remain on Canelo Alvarez and William Scull as they prepare to settle it in the ring. Whether an upset or another dominant display unfolds, fight night promises plenty of drama. We would love to hear from you. Let us know in the comment section below what you think of the undercard. Show your support by liking the video and sharing it with a fellow boxing fan. Hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon so you never miss a beat, and we shall see you in the next video with more exciting updates.